Today, I want to talk about an issue that does not get enough attention, and that is the lack of legal protections and benefits for nannies in the United States. Nannies play a vital role. They care for children, support families, and make it possible for parents to work. But despite how important their work is, nannies are often excluded from basic protections that most other workers have today. In fact, domestic workers like nannies were intentionally left out of major labor laws, such as the Fair Labor Standards Act and the National Labor Relations Act. This exclusion has deep ties to racism and sexism from the past. And unfortunately, it still affects thousands of workers today. Some states have passed domestic workers' bills of rights, but protections are inconsistent from state to state. A nanny in one state may have certain rights, while a nanny in another state has absolutely none. Because of this, the United States must pass a National Domestic Workers' Bill of Rights. This legislation should guarantee things like fair wages, paid leave, health benefits, protection from harassment and discrimination, and enforceable employment contracts. Without protection, nannies remain vulnerable to wage theft, unsafe conditions, and exploitation. Here's how the solution could work. First, we need standardized written contracts. Every single nanny should have a clear agreement that spells out their job duties, wages, schedule, and what were to happen if they need to be let go. This would prevent unfair firings and make sure expectations are clear from the get-go. Second, the law must guarantee paid sick leave and health benefits. Right now, many nannies do not have access to affordable health care or paid time off. A national law would require employers to contribute to health insurance or allow nannies to buy into a government-run plan. Nannies should also earn paid sick leave, given the fact that they work with sick kids more often than not, and paid family leave. This way, they aren't forced to work while sick or miss out on caring for their own families. Third, there needs to be strong enforcement. Many nannies are underpaid or not paid for overtime or holidays, and it's hard for them to speak up. A national law could create an anonymous reporting systems, surprise audits of employers, and a domestic workers ombudsman within the Department of Labor to help enforce the law. Fourth, we must protect nannies from harassment and discrimination. Because they work inside private homes and with children, it's easy for abuse to go unnoticed and unreported. A domestic workers' rights office within the EEOC could provide a safe place for complaints. Also, mandatory training for employers would help promote respect and accountability. Finally, we need to begin recognizing nannying as a professional career. Nannies deserve respect for their skills and expertise and how exhausting the job is. Certification programs, real degrees, and credentials could help raise the status of this profession, similar to what's available for early childhood educators or nursing assistants. To make all of this possible, a phased rollout could start with pilot programs in just a few states, testing things like contract templates, enforcement systems, healthcare coverage. Partnering with groups like the National Domestic Workers Alliance, labor unions, and faith-based organizations could help build support. Families who follow the law and provide benefits could receive tax credits and subsidies to offset the cost, making ethical hiring a little bit more affordable. Some people do worry that stronger protections for nannies would raise the cost of childcare. But the solution to that is not to deny workers their rights. It's to create policies that support both families and the workers. Fair protections lead to lower turnover, better care for children, and stronger relationships between the families and their nannies. In conclusion, the United States must pass a National Domestic Workers' Bill of Rights to give nannies the protection and respect they deserve. Nannies help raise the next generation. It's about time they get the legal protections, fair treatment, and dignity that they deserve. I personally chose this topic because I am a nanny. I'm very passionate about this, and I've experienced many of these issues myself. And through my research, it was interesting to figure out that there are other, domestic workers that handle and go through the same issues, and fairly upsetting to find out that, this has been going on for so long in history and nothing's changed. And the reasons why it happens is, sexism and racism. But, maybe in the future, simple policy changes can make a big difference in a lot of people's lives.